last workshop that we had here, I was sitting, the chair was different, but I was sitting here in front of you with a lot of gratitude. And after that, so many things have happened in these last 2 years in my life. And
really, it's been so calm for the rest of it.
Okay, and I'm really still, the gratitude is growing in my heart. And I had a lot of signs that I am on the right path. Not just with you, but with my kids, with my life. And I was, now, 2 years ago I didn't have a question, but now I have a question finally. And my question is, how can I move forward in the direction that I know is the right direction, but that will give me what I really want now in my life, and to feel in total harmony without fear or disharmony or doubts. And because, I love your work. I love what Abraham says. I love Esther. It's been so inspiring, and I want to make a quantum leap and really accept all the gifts that life has for me.
The most important thing that we want you to hear is that you can't not do that. You cannot not move in the direction of who you really are. You're already so much of a cooperative component to that, because when you meditate and quiet your mind, you offer no resistance, and so you become a cooperative component. You have to understand that your inner being is a dominant pull of what you want to that vortex version of you. And so everything that you've asked for has been and is being assembled, has been everything that you've asked for so far, and is being the things that are popping up now and now and now and now and now. And so that is happening, and you cannot help for a good part of your moment-to-moment experience but be a cooperative component that is being collected along with all of the other cooperative components. So you offered some words, some emotional words. You don't want to have fear or doubt or worry or those kinds of things. And we want you to know it's all right when you do, because when you are aware that you're doing that, then you may also be aware that in this moment, I'm not so much being a cooperative component, but that does not mean that I'm a permanent uncooperative component. It just means right here, right now, I'm having a knee-jerk response to something. And in most cases, I'm trending in old belief patterns. You were born into a world that had attitudes and moods and experiences that you observed, and so you've picked up, everyone has picked up those habits, but now you've decided to be a deliberate creator. You're not a wisher or a hoper. You're a calibrator. You're a sensitive being that knows when you're feeling an emotion that doesn't feel good, and you know what to do about it. You change the subject. Sometimes it's easier than others. If it's not easy, you take a nap or you meditate, or if it's an easy fix, you do a quick pivot. You say, I know what I don't want. What is it that I do want? If it's some trend that you've dragged around with you your whole life, you're not going to just brush it off like a spark off of your sweater. It's going to take some calibrating. It's going to take some, maybe even deliberate deactivating of the thought. We've been playing together on the weekly broadcasts that we've been doing, where if you catch yourself in the middle of a negative emotion, that you identify sort of kind of what it seems to be about, and then you decide that you're going to leave that in a better feeling place than you found it by taking a piece of paper, a notebook. Esther took a big box and wrote on it my deactivation box or my inactive box. And so when she finds herself feeling some of those emotions that you described that you would like to be without, and we say, we don't want you to be without them, we just want you to keep them to a minimum, or we just want you to know what they mean. They mean good for you to do some deliberate thinking, because you're letting the world influence you, and by letting the world influence you or your world influence you, you're not allowing yourself to be a cooperative component to all of those things that you really are. So the authenticity, we like the word you added to us here, is not happening in this moment. And that sucks. That does not feel good. But you can do something about it. This is the work. This is the very simple, very understandable work to do. Sometimes people write to us as if we are a fortune teller. What will my future hold? And we say, your future is magnificent. We've seen your vortex, but it's up to you about how much of that you let yourself manifest. You want to do the work, which is pay attention to the way you feel, which is decide to do the only thing that you can do, which is control your mood. Control your mood. The other day, Esther reconnected with a gardener who had helped her at a previous property. And he came out to the Abraham Hicks Center, which is a big place. Lots of beautiful gardens and waterfalls and so on. And it needs him. It's been neglected. It needs him. Esther wants him. Esther wants him to bring his experts. And he's really busy. He's under high demand because he's really good at what he does. He's a master gardener. He's been at it for a long time. Has a magnificent group of people that work with him, and everybody wants him. And Esther wants him the most of all. And so he met with her at the property, and she said, so I want this and 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 this. What are you going to do about that? And he said, I think I can work you into the schedule. He said, I want to work you into the schedule. And Esther said, we are in harmony then. And then she said, I honestly do not know. My absolute obsession with keeping this land as beautiful as I know it can be. And he said, well, you are the steward of this land. That's why you feel that way. You've inherited it. There have been many people that have designed it and dreamed it and brought it about. But now you are the one who focuses there. And that's what we want to convey to you. You are the steward of yourself as the creation. You are the one who thinks about it. Don't ask anybody else to do it. Don't ask anybody else to be the one who cares about your alignment. You're the one. Your inner being, of course, cares, but your inner being's got it figured out and hasn't mastered. Your inner being is the master vortexer. Your inner being has that all figured out. You've got to do the work of cooperatively complying with thoughts that match that. You can't go rogue and feel negative emotion and be in the place of receiving those things that you are telling us that you want. So we know, gets a little tiring. We always throw it right back in your lap. I would like this and this and this. And we say, good, go get it. And then you say, wait a minute, I thought you were going to help. We say, oh, we're helping. In other words, we, with your inner being, have got our eye on everything you've asked for. And this is the thing we so want you to hear. That sets up a big time point of attraction on your behalf. There aren't enough words to explain to you how much non-physical energy is focused upon the requests and the desires that you have set into motion. But the one thing that we cannot do, we cannot be the vibrator of you, because you get to do your own thinking. That's the free will that you were promised, and it must be that way. Billions of you here, all deciding what you prefer, and your inner being, many more than billions, your inner beings, that collective consciousness, rooting for each of you, worried about not one of you, seeing not one of you as an orphan or disadvantaged in any way. In fact, let's have some fun with that. You are all orphans in this sense. It's up to you. It's up to you. It's up to you to find the thoughts that feel good. And you know them when you find them, don't you? And then that connection is refreshing. It's replenishing. It's restorative. It's where clarity comes from. It's where passion evolves to. That's it.
Can I ask?
And if you say, how do I do that? We'll say, one awareness of negative emotion at a time, and a determination to find some way, somehow, to soften that negative emotion until it no longer is felt by you. You want to render those thoughts inactive. And when you do render those thoughts inactive, now and then again, and then again, and then again, in time, the law of attraction cannot keep bringing things like them to you because you've rendered it inactive. And then, when it's inactive, the other end of that stick is allowed by you to be experienced by you. We know you know this. You've been listening to us and reading and hearing. We know you get it, but it takes some practice. Does it take some practice? Yes, it takes some practice.